Hello students of class 10th, welcome to geography class. I hope all of you are doing well. Students, in this video, I shall start with a new chapter of geography, that is chapter 3rd, water resources. So this is a chapter that I am going to start in this video. Students, the name of the chapter is water resources. And I have already explained you about resources in the first chapter. I have already explained you the first chapter was resources and development. So in that chapter only I explained you the meaning of resources. So what is a resource? Everything available in our environment which can be used to satisfy our needs, provided it is technologically accessible, economically feasible and culturally acceptable, is termed as a resource. So the question is water a resource? Definitely water is a resource, because water is used to fulfill our multiple needs. It is present in our environment and it is used to fulfill our multiple needs. Can we survive without water? Is it possible for us to survive without water? No, not at all. We cannot survive without water. Actually, it is not possible for us to survive without water. See, water is not only used for drinking purpose, but it is used for several other purposes, like for domestic purpose, water is needed. Then for agriculture purpose, water is needed. Then in order to run several power plants, water is needed. Then to generate electricity, water is needed. So there are multiple needs of water. Water is very important. Without water, we cannot survive. So water is a resource which is available in our environment and which is used to satisfy our multiple needs. Now, have you seen the picture of the earth? Have you seen the picture of earth? It looks blue, and because of that blue color, it is called as blue planet. Our earth is called as a blue planet. Now the question is, why is our earth called a blue planet? Our earth is called as a blue planet because of the presence of water. Yes, because of the presence of water, it looks blue, and that is why our earth is called as a blue planet. Now let me tell you that 3/4 of the surface of water, please cut that line. Now let me tell you that 3/4 of the surface of the earth is covered with water. Just imagine 3/4, that means approximately 71% of the surface of the earth or earth's surface is covered with water. That is why it looks blue, and as a result of which it is called as a blue planet. So students, that means we have water in abundance. So can we use that water that is available on the surface? That means 71% of the earth's surface is covered with water. So can we use that 71% water? No, we cannot. Only a small proportion of fresh water is usable. Only very small proportion out of that 71%, very small proportion we can use, because major proportion of water is salty, and that cannot be used, and that is in oceans. So salty water cannot be used. So majority of the water cannot be used, but only a small proportion of it can be used. And let me tell you that the fresh water that we can use, so the fresh water is obtained from surface runoff and groundwater that is continuously renewed and recharged through the hydrological cycle. Now what is hydrological cycle? See, evaporation, condensation, precipitation, cloud formation, and then water is renewed. So only a small proportion of water can be used by us. Now let me explain you this concept in detail. So students, as I have told you that 71% of the earth's surface is covered with water, and in that 71%, 96.5% of the total volume of water is in oceans. Just imagine that in that 71%, 96.5 percent of the total volume of water, it is in oceans, and only 2.5% of fresh water is usable. So out of that 71%, only 2.5% water is usable, and in that 2.5%, 70% of the fresh water occurs as ice sheets and glaciers. So in that 2.5% also, in that small proportion, 70% of fresh water, it occurs as ice sheets and glaciers, and they melt, and from there only we get water. And do you know, India receives nearly 4% of global precipitation and ranks 133 in terms of water availability per person per annum. Just imagine, we only receive 4% of total precipitation, such small proportion, but we should be grateful to the nature that we are receiving at least 4% of world's total precipitation, because there are countries who are not receiving this much water also. So we must be grateful to the nature. And you know, total renewable water resources in India, they are estimated at 1899 square kilometer per annum. And you know, an estimate according to the World Water Report, there is an estimate according to the World Water Report that by 2025, nearly 2 billion people will face absolute water scarcity. Now the question is, we have so much water, and one more thing, that water gets renewed and recharged. Then why do we face water scarcity? This is a big question. We should not be facing water scarcity, as we have abundance of water and water gets recharged and renewed. Then what are the reasons we face water scarcity? So I am going to explain you about this topic, and the topic is water scarcity. That why do we face water scarcity? Now students, if I say this water scarcity, what comes in your mind? What you imagine suddenly? See, whenever we hear this word or read this word water scarcity, we generally imagine the desert areas, right, where there is very less rainfall. We imagine women carrying water in earthen pots or matkas, and they are walking miles. They are carrying water. They are carrying those earthen pots on their head, and they are walking miles. But is it so that only water scarcity is only in Rajasthan or in any desert areas? No, this is not so. Water scarcity can be at any place. For example, it may be in Jammu and Kashmir, and it is also there in Jammu and Kashmir. Then I hope that you have heard about Cherrapunji, Mawsynram. You know, this is the highest receiving rainfall place in the world. This area receives the highest rainfall, and you will be surprised to know that Cherrapunji also faces water scarcity. Yes, this is true. Water scarcity can be at any place. It is not mandatory that water scarcity will be there only in the desert areas or the areas that are receiving very less rainfall. It can be at any place. Now the question is, what are the causes of water scarcity? Water is a renewable resource. It gets recharged and renewed. Then why do we face water scarcity? We have abundance of water in our country. Still we face it. Why? So now I am going to explain you about the causes of water scarcity. That what are the causes of water scarcity, or why do we face water scarcity? See students, the main cause of water scarcity is over exploitation and excessive use, and also unequal access to water among different groups. Over exploitation and excessive use is there. See, if I talk about Delhi or if I talk about Mumbai, then these areas generally face water crisis or water scarcity. Why? Water is not there in Delhi. Water is not there in Mumbai. Definitely water is there. Then why the people of Delhi, Mumbai or any other region, why they face water scarcity? See, the main cause is population. The population has grown to such an extent that the quantity of water that is available is not sufficient to satisfy the needs of the population. Earlier also water was there, earlier also population was there, but if I talk like before 100 years, means if I talk about 100 years back, about 100 years back, then that time also water scarcity was there, but not to the extent that we are facing today. Today we are facing more scarcity of water. Why? Because of the bursting population, right? The population have bursted, they have exploded to a great extent, and the water that is available, that is not the water that is available is not enough to satisfy the overpopulation. See, the demand has increased, supply is less and demands have increased. So what will happen? Scarcity will definitely be there. So there is more demand of water but supply is less, as a result of which we are facing water scarcity. Now students, let me give you the definition of water scarcity by Falcon Marx. That what will be the definition, or what is the definition according to Falcon Marx. So as you can see on the screen, the definition is mentioned that water stress occurs when availability of water is between 1000 and 1600 cubic meters per person per year. Then water stress or water scarcity occurs. So this is the definition of water scarcity or water stress by Falcon Marx. Now students, let me explain you the different dimensions of water scarcity. That means why it is caused, or why and how water scarcity is caused, or why or how it occurs. So students, I am going to explain you this concept with the help of two dimensions or two approaches. First is the quantitative dimension or quantitative approach, and the second one is qualitative approach. Quantitative means the quantity of water, the amount of water has reduced, and qualitative approach means the quality of water has been reduced, means it is not fit for use, it is not it is not ideal for usage. So first let me come to the first approach, that is quantitative approach or quantitative dimension. See, first is increase in population. I have already explained you about this point, that about increase in population. Let me just say it again. Students, increase in population will definitely lead to increase in demand of water. Definitely, if population will increase, then the demand for water will also increase. They will require more water. Or what will happen? The demand will decrease or increase? Definitely, the demand will increase with the increase in population. But the thing is that will the population or will the people only drink, or they will also require something to eat, or only by drinking water they can survive? They require something to eat also. So with the increase in population, the demand for food grains will also increase. And how food grains are grown? How do the farmers grow food grains? Water is needed. So there also water is needed. So with the increase in population, the demand for food grains will increase, and as a result of which the demand for water will also increase simultaneously. I hope that this point is clear, that we not only require water for drinking purpose, rather we need food grains also, and food grains cannot be grown without water. So irrigation is required in order to grow more food grains. Okay. So water is not only required for domestic purposes, rather it is also required for agriculture purpose. So for agriculture also water is required, water is needed. So the demand for water is increasing. So with the increase in demand, so with the increase in the number of population, the demand for food grains is increasing, as a result of which the demand for water is also increasing. And students, you must have seen that most of the farmers, if I talk about the rich farmers or the medium farmers also, then they have their own wells, they have their own tube wells. So what happens if they have their own wells and tube wells? That is a good thing. That means they are becoming prosperous, they are developing. Actually, you know, this is leading to falling groundwater levels. Everybody is having their own pumping sets, so this is leading to the falling groundwater levels. See, most of us, we have our own pumping sets at our home, and what is the result of having our own pumping sets? Earlier, only if, after digging 50 to 60 feet we could get water, but now after we need to dig like 200 feet, 300 feet deep, then we are getting water. So what this is causing? This is causing exploitation of water resources. The water level that is falling. So this is the cause of water scarcity. So this is one cause of water scarcity, or I would say this is the quantitative dimension of water scarcity. Now students, let me come to the second aspect or the second dimension, that is qualitative dimension. Now the quality of water is reducing. Now how the quality of water is reducing? See, as industrialization and urbanization occurs, the quality of water is reducing. What is industrialization and urbanization? If I talk about urbanization, that it means more urban centers, means more housing societies are developed. So this is urbanization. And you must have seen in your society also, or in your house also, you have your own pumping sets of own pumping device in order to get water. So this is leading to exploitation of water. And if I talk about industrialization, it means, and what happens there? Heavy use of water is there. Why? For washing purpose. Then in order to operate their plants, water is needed. Then, and you know, this exerts heavy pressure on the freshwater resources. Please cut that line, that second dimension, that is qualitative. This is actually the second point of quantitative only. I have not started qualitative right now, so please cut that line. So as I was talking about the industries, so electricity is also needed. So from where electricity is generated? It is generated from hydroelectric plants. And you know, in India, hydroelectric power contributes 22%, approximately 22% of total electricity produced. So from hydroelectric power, so from hydroelectric power, it contributes approximately 22% of total electricity produced. And this way, water is excessively used by industries and urban housing societies or colonies. So since the consumption has increased, so scarcity is also there. The demand has increased and the supply is still the same. So this will definitely cause water scarcity. So these are the quantitative causes of water scarcity. Now let me come to the second dimension, that is qualitative dimension or the qualitative aspect. Qualitative means the quality of water has reduced. See, water is available, it is sufficiently available to meet our needs, but still there are areas that suffer from water scarcity. Why do they suffer? Because of bad quality of water. Now why the quality of water is bad? Because of pollution. See, the water is polluted due to domestic and industrial waste. The industries, they dump their waste into water, which causes water pollution. See, if I talk about Ganga, river Ganga, it is a sacred river, but it is polluted. The industrial waste, they are dumped into the water, which has caused this sacred river as polluted river. Then the several chemicals, pesticides, fertilizers that are used in agriculture, they also pollute water. See, because the pesticides or the fertilizers that are sprayed on the crops, what happens in rain, in the rainy season, those chemicals and fertilizers, they are also flown with water, and as a result of which they pollute the water and they cause several health diseases. They are very hazardous. They are not fit for use. They are not fit for drinking. So these are the reasons we are facing water scarcity. Water everywhere, but not a single drop to drink. We have water, but we cannot drink it. Why? Because it is not fit for drinking. It is polluted. There are several chemicals and pesticides and fertilizers are there in the water, which makes it unfit for drinking. So I hope that this topic is clear to everybody. Now I'll explain the next topic in the next video, that is the need for water conservation and management. We are facing water scarcity, so there is a need to conserve water, there is a need to manage water. So I'll explain you this topic in the next video. Till then, thank you so much and stay safe.